MMAfighting.com. We're here with Brent Primus ahead of his fight with Chris Bungard. Brent, your inclusion on this card has added so much excitement for Irish fans. You know, a former world champion, a guy as we see is right in the higher echelons of that division, knocking on the door of a title shot. What does it mean for you to come to Ireland?
Just a fight. You know, I've been waiting for a fight for months now, and they offered me this fight and said that if I don't take this one, then it could be months longer. So I was like, okay, let's do it, man. I don't care who it is. Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, did that affect you at all with Queally pulling out in place of with Bungard coming in place of Peter Queally? Did that change anything for you?
No, not really. I've had so many fights where the opponents get injured, and it's just part of the game, man. We're literally training to knock somebody out and to break somebody, and it's just part of the game. And like I said, man, my heart goes out to Peter Queally. That really, really sucks. It's a big bummer that he had to back out of his hometown fight, and yeah, man, it sucks. But it's also part of the game. It's just how it goes.
You underlined a lot of European fans' biggest fears when you came over here first for the first European Series show. Obviously, the gulf between European fighters and American fighters is something that's talked about a lot, or it was over the years at least. And you put on this emphatic display where you get it. Was it an omoplata or gogoplata? Gogoplata nearly immediately when the fight started. I mean, is that still there? Is there still like an opinion that, you know, you guys are so much further ahead than, say, the European sport, which is still kind of catching up in many ways to the American sport?
I feel like it is. You know, I definitely think that we have the advantage in wrestling and jiu-jitsu over there. But I know there's a bunch of good stand-up kickboxers and stuff over here too. So, but I definitely feel like we got the advantage.
That was wild for me to see. Like, you're such a muscular dude, like, and to see that kind of flexibility on the gogoplata. I mean, is this something that are you known for, that kind of unorthodox kind of techniques, like that flexibility and things?
Oh yeah, man, I can do the splits. I can put my legs behind my head. I'm really flexible. I always have been. I grew up playing soccer. Like that was my life, you know. And but yeah, man, I got a couple cool submissions that I still got in the bag, you know, so we might see something cool either this fight or soon, you know, for sure.
Did you expect it to go that quickly against Wilde that time? I mean, that was insane to me.
I always expect it to go quick. You know, like I said, I have a bunch of first round finishes. I think 7 out of my nine fights are first round finishes, and I had like 3 or 4 knockouts in like 20 seconds when I was an amateur. So I'm not. It's something I'm kind of used to for sure.
You know. Do you study opponents? I mean, have you been watching tape on Queally and then Bungard, and do you feel like it's a very different fight, or do you feel like they're quite similar as opponents?
I don't really watch too much of my opponents. I leave that to my coaches. My coaches do all the studying. They tell me what to do. I listen to them, and that's how it goes. But I do feel like they're a little bit different. I feel like Bungard's a little bit better on the ground. I feel like Queally was a little bit better on the feet, you know, so... but they both have their strengths and weaknesses, I feel, and I'm going to capitalize on that.
I read an incredible article about you on The Athletic with Chad Dundas recently about you selling drugs, selling weed when you were a teenager, and what you've become since then. I mean, it feels like such a polarity between those two lifestyles, but obviously there's a lot of money to be made in your previous lifestyle. I mean, how did you, like, I mean, did this save you? Did MMA save you from that life?
100%, man. Jiu-jitsu saved me for sure. I started out doing jiu-jitsu, and I was, I had my own house when I was really young, and I was selling a lot of weed, making a lot of money, and I was getting in street fights every weekend, at least once or twice a week. And one of my buddies at the time was like, "Man, if you're going to be doing this, knocking people out, you might as well make money." And so he signed me up for a cage fight, and it just happened like that, man. I never ever thought that I'd be cage fighting or where I'm at right now, you know, and then I started doing jiu-jitsu, and I just fell in love with it. And I won Pan Americans within 3 weeks of training, and it just fell there, man. I never thought I'd be doing it, but like I said, man, it definitely saved me. I was going down a wrong, horrible path, you know, and thank God that I found martial arts for sure.
Does it cross over at all? Like, is there some things you can take from that life as a drug dealer and into the sport? I mean, obviously aggression, stuff like that, would people think it would be something that would go hand in hand with both careers, but is there anything you think of straight off the top of your head?
I don't know. I've always been super competitive, and even when I was younger, like I was like young, 16, knocking out men at parties and people at the in college, you know, and I've just been super competitive, and I don't like to be pushed around, and I've been really... man, I think just in that sense, you know, just being really competitive and not taking shit from anybody, you know, and I think that goes really good with MMA for sure.
I bet Bellator always pay on time as well, right?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Just wondering, how do you see this one going? I mean, after the first experience in Europe, are you expecting to go in here and take care of business in the first few seconds?
Oh, for sure. You know, like my seven out of my 9 wins have been first round finishes. You know, so I'm used to the first round finishes, but at the same time, I'm not gonna chase that. You know, I'm gonna go out there and just be comfortable and fight, and they usually come as they come.
Any way you want to become the European Slayer, just keep on coming over here and knocking off our top guys. Does that appeal to you at all?
Hey, yeah, I like that. You know, the European Slayer. I like that a lot. That's cool.
Thanks very much, Brent.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
That was great. Thank you.